A long time ago, in a nebula far, far away, a little star was born. His name was Crab. Now, Crab spent most of his protostarhood eating hydrogen and growing bigger, until one day, on his 18 millionth birthday, Crab grew big enough to start farting helium. He kept eating hydrogen and farting helium until one day the nebula gave him 3 wonderful little planet children named Crab B, Crab C, and Crab D. Crab was living some of the best years of his life. He had a wonderful family and lived in a good neighborhood of the Milky Way called Taurus, as a massive main sequence star. He would often play catch the solar flare with his children, and between November and March, he would take the kids a short 6,523 light years to his friend's sun and his 8 children. Many millions of years later, Crab's children grew older. One by one, they began to graduate and start their own families. Crab began to grow lonely. With his children gone, he only had 2 friends, Betelgeuse and UY Scooty. Crab started to gain weight, and soon he was huge. He had begun the unhealthy habit of eating helium instead of hydrogen and farting carbon. Much to the dismay of his friends and doctor, soon with helium came an addiction to eating carbon and farting magnesium. Soon he was eating that magnesium and farting oxygen, then eating oxygen and farting silicon. It was at this point Crab had become a supermassive red giant. His doctor had urged him to go to the gym, but to no avail. Crab passed the point of no return when he downloaded League of Legends. He became addicted and dragged Betelgeuse, who became the supermassive giant Dia-Betelgeuse, as well as UY Scooty, who became the extremely obese UY Gluty. Crab's doctor became very concerned, and when nothing would help, he prescribed him some weight loss hydrogen pills. One day, while online with Dia-Betelgeuse and UY Gluty, Crab decided to take some of the weight loss pills. Unbeknownst to him, the doctor had accidentally put a tiny speck of iron in the pills. We know what happens next. Iron is highly unhealthy for supermassive red giants, as it tends to make them explode. Crab went into the kitchen and plopped a pill into his mouth. Immediately, the iron found its way into the star's most vital organ, the core. As soon as it went in, the core lost its pressure. Crab was to succumb to his own obesity. He then proceeded to It's been 5 million years since the explosion, and Crab has just woken up from a long coma. He's in the hospital. He has turned blue and is no longer a few 100 million miles in diameter, but a mere 12, the size of San Jose. The explosion destroyed his body, and all that's left is his core, still violently pulsating. He spins 30 times a second at 15 million degrees Celsius. He is no longer called Crab, the red supergiant, but the O-class Crab pulsar, a tiny neutron star floating through his own flesh, a beautiful new nebula named for his honor. Crab will spend billions, if not trillions of years, slowly cooling and cooling and cooling and cooling and cooling, until he finally fuses his last hydrogen and becomes one with the darkness. All that is left of his once beautiful star is a nebula which will one day, millions of years from now, give birth to a new generation of stars and planets.